people's social security numbers are getting out there into the public domain, and criminals are out there utilizing them. And in order to help consumers, Congress decided to pass a bill that protects the consumer by allowing a credit freeze to go on to their credit history.
You know, I really like the fact that they made it free for individuals, and they've also made it a lot easier, because even as early as like 3 to 5 years ago, if you wanted a credit freeze, you'd have to make a phone call, you'd have to wait, you'd have to, you know, fill out all this information, you'd have to mail stuff in, and now you can fill out a form online.
Actually, you would have to make 3 phone calls.
Yes.
Because all the 3 major credit bureaus, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, were not interconnected.
That's right, yeah. It costs different amounts in each state, you know, and each one, whether it was Experian, Equifax, or TransUnion, they all charge different prices. And not only that, the only people who were allowed to get it for free were those who were actual victims of credit fraud that could prove it with a police report. So now you're sending and faxing and mailing in actual police reports to 3 different people, just waiting to freeze your credit. And then forget about unfreezing your credit, because by the time you get to unfreezing your credit, it's going to take you another 2 weeks. So if you need to buy a new car because you got into a car accident, you're going to be waiting for at least 2.5 weeks to get your credit unfrozen so that you could then be accepted.
The credit freezes are a necessity now, because every day you hear of one company after another getting their information taken, and you just don't know.
Yeah.
You just don't know. You could do everything 100% right as a consumer, but you're still at risk. And and the fact of the matter, and this is and I have had many conversations with many computer security people, and they always tell me, Howard, if somebody wants to get in and take your information, they're going to get in and take your information. They may not get in from you, but they could get in from your kids going on the wrong website. It's a really challenging world that we live in, and people need to protect themselves as much as they can.
I think it's a really great opportunity that the credit freezes are so easy, especially for the elderly and children, because fraud has risen astronomically for child identity fraud, because people can more easily get their social security numbers and open up credit underneath them. And it's not until they're 18 when they realize they need to get a credit card that they're like, oh my gosh, I can't get any credit. My credit's been destroyed. I didn't know any of this was happening. So now this gives an opportunity for parents to, you know, if their child, to check and see if they have a credit file, because usually children don't have a credit file. They can create one and then freeze it so that it's not able to, so children aren't able to access credit until they become of age.
Children are absolutely at risk, and sometimes by people that they wouldn't expect.
That's right.
Which in my experience has been sometimes their parents.
Yeah.
And with similar names, John Smith and the third, and he's the second. Children unfortunately don't find out that daddy or mommy ruined their credit until they become of age and they try to get credit issued to them. We see that quite often. And it's very sad, because it destroys the fabric of the family.
Of course. And the second part of that is for the elderly, and as they get older, they're not opening up new lines of credit, or they shouldn't be opening up new lines of credit, and really to protect them, because there's so much elderly fraud going on also, that this really gives them an opportunity to, you know, whether you're their children who are helping them by freezing their credit, or whether it's themselves who's like, I'm not going to buy anything. My house is paid off. My credit cards are where they are at. I don't need any new cars. I just want to freeze my credit because now it's going to protect me.
With the elderly, let's face it, as you get older, you may have some household help, and the caretakers. We find that the caretakers are not only taking care of mama, but they're also taking care of mama's bank account. And fortunately, they're giving them the keys to the kingdom. And we see that, especially living down in South Florida, we see a lot of elderly abuse go on, and certainly with their bank accounts, and a lot of criminal activity around that. It is a very big challenge as the graying of America continues, but certainly freezing the credit for every single elderly person is not a bad idea.
Yeah.
And it needs to happen. I would love to say that maybe down the road it's an automatic rather than an option,
yeah.
which I think would be more protection for the consumer.
Yeah.
However, I'm pretty sure I got 3 credit bureaus with many, many lobbyists that don't want to hear that idea, but because it would definitely slow them down and reduce their ability to gain access to the people's credit histories.
Really provides amazing protection for those individuals. I think for, you know, those in middle age who are buying cars and buying houses and things like that, and opening up new credit cards more often, you know, maybe they should consider something more of like a credit lock that makes it a little bit easier to freeze and unfreeze their credit. Credit cards aren't as utilized, especially by the younger demographic of the population now. I think that the fact that we're offering the credit freezes to them, whether they take it or not, I think it's there for them. It's something that's there that you can take if you feel that you need it, if you want to take those extra protections. And it allows you to kind of lock and unlock a little bit easier, or kind of just hold off on it so you can't open up new stuff, but you could easily unlock it. And others offer it for a fee, you know, so if you wanted to undo it immediately on your phone, they could do it, but then they charge a fee. So they've now found a way to monetize it, but just in a different way, which is smart on their behalf, but it's also still providing that availability to the consumer. So if you know you're going to be buying a home, you know, you can unfreeze it. You know, you're not going to be buying a home tomorrow.
There are services. There's the ID protection things for $20 a month, for $30 a month, and the super duper one for God knows how much.
Yeah.
I mean, there are services available out there that make it a little easier for the consumer, but you still have to do something. And the fact of the matter is, all those services, to be very candid with you, you could do it for free anyway.
Oh, yeah.
You're just kind of paying a convenience fee.
100%,
but if you think about it, even $20 a month is still $240 a year.
That's right.
And the zombie effect takes place.
Bingo.
And you keep going on that treadmill, so to speak, and you could end up paying them $1,000 at the end of 5 years or whatever.
Yeah, so it's basically like...
And there's always upgrades, too.
Exactly, yeah.
So you have to be very careful about those great services out there.
Oh, yeah, agreed, 100%.